Hey guys, it's Cozy again. Today in this video, I want to dive into some of the more slimy aspects of my own religion of Christianity. The aspect being of the financial scam nature. I'm going to be giving my thoughts about the booming business of religion on a high scale, like megachurches, and even the everyday church you might see in your own hometown. I've come to these ideas from a lot of personal experience where I felt like I was being taken advantage of through using my own faith against me. There is a huge problem with churches in America, and it feels like it goes untalked about. Every church experience I've ever had was a bad one. Due to this fact, I feel like it's criminal the things these churches are doing, using people at their most vulnerable state to try to get a lifelong money source. The small churches do this by getting a strong connection with them, their family, and friends, basically being in control of their entire community, and subtly using that control to justify asking for funds in the name of God. The other form of corruption I'm going to be talking about is the much more prominent scam, which is the mega church, where they are an all out business solely trying to get the most money possible, turning praising Christ into an entertainment event for profit. In my opinion, just spitting on the name of Christianity. I'll start by talking about the local churches, where they operate on a case by case basis. Before talking about this, I'll recite my experience. This happened about 4 years ago when I first really got into the religion. I went to the church with my grandma expecting it to be a wholesome time where we talk about the Bible, sing, and share food together. Now, that's not exactly what happened. I quickly came to the realization that this was nothing more than a way to bring people together in the name of God, embolden our spirits, then tie it all back into funding the church. They said things like how money is of no value and that we need to give it all to God, or more specifically to the church, and that the least you can do for them is to give 15% of our income to the church to help them give more to God. In shorter terms, this was a business that feasts on good faith and people's love for the religion. How the patrons of the church did not see through this, I don't know, but I can guess it comes from the deep ties the church had to the community and family members of the patrons. Now, this is just one personal example of hundreds and thousands of cases like this. These business owners have taken something so pure and righteous just to turn it into a cash grab like so many other things in this country. It hurts me to say, but I feel this is probably the majority of local community led churches. Not all, but an infectious percentage. That's not to say there aren't churches where the sole purpose is to worship and bring together the community, only that it is such an amount that it needs to be discussed, and we need to make it commonplace that it is called out for what it is, a predatory scam. The local churches also push a heavy right leaning traditionalist agenda, which by itself is not something that is necessarily bad, but when you push it on others, constantly judging and putting yourself in a place of moral superiority, it is in fact very wrong and in complete conflict with Christ's teachings. No mere mortal has any right to judge others and try to enforce their beliefs or ideals on anyone else. All we can do is practice our own morals and make sure that we push for safety and peace, not for condemning every group and movement we do not believe in. The more heinous part of condemning others isn't the literal disagreement, which is unavoidable, but using God as a weapon against those we disagree with. We as Christians just need to love and worship Christ, and maybe try to spread his message passively if we want to make any sort of progress with society, because right now we aren't doing ourselves or our group any favors. The second con that has its fangs deeply rooted in the religion of Christianity is the megachurches, the private jet flying televangelists that appear in their stadium sized worship centers, constantly appealing for more and more funds to then invest right back into themselves without any worry of tax or bad mouthing from the community. Think about the money that could be put into helping problems domestically within our country that is instead being put right into more rich men's pockets. The worst of those rich men being Kenneth Copeland, one of the richest as well. He's been known to be very charismatic, or in truer terms, manipulative. Also known for speaking down on the poor, obfuscating about what he does with his massive riches he receives from begging on his religious programs. One flat out example of his manipulation comes from a time when he asked for funding from his audience to help Haiti in a time of crisis, only to then spend it on repairs for his private airplane. One of 5 airplanes, by the way. He runs this organization not like a selfless, Christ like individual, but more like a heartless businessman, building a super business that keeps him and his family rich and in power for generations. Men like this tarnish God's name and all of Christianity. I know too many people that give me weird looks when they found out that I'm Christian and ostracize me for it. because all they know of the religion is the people who use the religion for evil purposes. These televangelists will offer great bounty and reward in the name of God for donating to them. Some examples are relief from eternal pain, cures for illness and disease, and even a spot in heaven, often using fear tactics that these wishes will not be granted without the donation. They also put themselves on a pedestal that can never be questioned, claiming they are being used as an instrument of God. And to talk bad about these men is to talk bad about God Himself. I'm sure this starts as a bit of a scheme on their part, but over time the convincing and lying molds with their own reality, causing them to truly believe it, seeing themselves as one of God's chosen. They also expect to be treated as such, which would explain why they feel the need to live in mansions, drive beautiful cars, fly everywhere in planes, and live above the means of the average man in this country. They get to eat the cake and have it too, not only living the lavish life, but also being cherished for it and truly seeing themselves as holier than thou. Their main selling point is a direct insult to the Bible and everything it stands for, promising material wealth to those who donate and support the televangelists. Anyone who follows the teachings of Christ, even me, and I'm not the most educated on it, would know that spiritual fulfillment from God is far more valuable than anything you can get from one of these corrupt televangelists. Now, for my final words. You may be asking, okay, Cozy, but what do we do about this? Well, there's nothing to do truly outside of yourself. A direct call to action I feel would be irresponsible and would probably call for more harm than good. We just need to zoom out and see the big picture of this thing we call Christianity and do our best to not take these criticisms as an attack on the religion and more as a call to reform this great thing that has helped countless throughout the years. We need to be more aware and cognizant of the predatory people there are in any field and see this is no different. Most of all, just be tolerant and accept others' way of life and views of the world. We are not on a mission of judgment and hate for anyone else that does not see our way as the correct way, and to call out those who leave morals at the door for the pursuit of money, power, and vanity. Love everyone.